Thanks so much for being with us today on Solution America. We've talked about how one group of college students is helping kids get a better grip on math. Now we want to turn to another issue that a lot of college students are facing, and this one has to do with their weight once they move away from home and go off to start college. And our next guest wants to help you avoid getting out of shape and adding the freshman 15, which is problem number 3. And the solution, Chelsea Krost, tips on avoiding college weight gain. And joining us now is author and radio host Chelsea Krost. Good to see you. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
So why do people put on weight when they move away to college?
You know, it's very simple in a sense that we're moving away from home for the first time. We're not under our parents' roof. Our mother or father or whoever is buying the groceries is not buying the groceries for us anymore. We're responsible for what we now put in our mouth. Obviously, we want to keep, money in mind, so usually we're going for the cheaper, easier way of feeding ourselves, which is like the cup of noodles, McDonald's, the fast food, the processed food, the high fructose corn syrup, packaged food. All of those is what adds to the gut. And then whether we want to admit it or not, whether the parents want to hear it or not,
beer.
When you go to college, drinking is now way more into your diet than it ever was in high school, whether you're 21 years old or not. I'm not supporting illegal drinking, but I'm just saying alcohol really adds to the stomach.
It happens.
Especially.
You've written a book called 19, which is called 19 because that's how old you were when you wrote it.
Yes.
All these impressive young people that we're talking to today. The book, 19, a reflection of my teenage experience in an extraordinary life, what I've learned and what I have to share. So give us some information about ways to avoid the freshman 15. Because
Absolutely.
you go away to school, everything changes. It's really your first experience out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me anyway, like my study habits were developed, so you're sort of studying at off hours and you're snacking while you're studying, you're not paying attention to what you're eating. But let's go through some of the tips that you've avoided, that you've given to us. And the first one is don't skip breakfast.
Yes, well at 16 years old, I started a radio talk show where I wanted to talk about teen issues that I thought were so prevalent in the media today that there were no millennials speaking to the millennials. And my first show was about body image and nutrition. So I've been talking about this topic for 6 years, and it's still so important to spread awareness about. So at 19 years old, when I wrote my book, I dedicated a chapter to eating habits, nutrition, and body image, especially because it's a sensitive topic for me. I struggled with my weight since I was 12 years old, and I was too heavy at one time and too thin at one time. So I could relate to both ends of the spectrum. But there are simple ways to adjust your lifestyle to make sure that all of a sudden you don't wake up and you can't fit in your jeans. And as college students and as working individuals, we tend to skip breakfast.
Yes.
And breakfast is what fuels our brain as soon as we start the day. It's also what starts your calorie burn and count through the day. So people who actually have breakfast are less hungry throughout the day and tend to burn more calories efficiently throughout the day.
Less cranky, too. I mean, that has nothing to do with the freshman 15, but having a good breakfast and getting some food in your belly at the beginning of your day, I think can really help with your mood.
And also for the brain. I mean, I don't know how people go to class and they're ready to learn and they don't have any brain power and brain fuel. And I mean, like, have an oatmeal, a bar, some sort of protein shake, something to start your day, even a hard-boiled egg. But never skip breakfast. Some of my friends don't eat until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they're starving, and that's their breakfast, and that's how people then eat at 12 o'clock at night. It's a bad pattern.
Let me ask you, Chelsea, that's tip number 2, which is stock up. What does that mean?
It means be prepared. If you don't have anything in your apartment, dorm, house, you're going to seek this quick and easy, usually fast food route. So if you have those essentials in your apartment, like the lean proteins, a bag of brown rice, a bag of brown pasta, some fruits and veggies at all times, that's when you know that you have something there, you're less prone to then running out and getting something like a Dunkin' Donuts, even though it's right around the corner.
Moving on to the next one, learn to read labels.
Yes,
I still don't really know how to do that so well.
It makes me so sad because, knowledge is power, and I feel like we learn so much in elementary school and middle school and high school, and how we don't learn how to read a nutrition label is mind-boggling to me. You should know what you're eating. I mean, everyone deserves that right. If you flip over a nutrition label, I wish I had one with me to share with you, the ingredients should just be very simple. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Like, for instance, peanut butter, it should be enough nuts and maybe some salt. But if there's a bunch of other things in the peanut butter, like Skippy, like Peter Pan, don't eat it. Go for the natural peanut butter. So many additives that aren't necessary, that we can't break down in our body, so we store fat.
Now, your next tip is to keep a food diary.
Yes.
You know, which is a great idea, ideally. But in practice, when someone's a freshman in college or just a young person in general, the thought of sitting down and writing down what I put in my mouth,
it's strenuous.
You know, it is.
It's like one other thing that you have to do in the day. But the reason why I say to keep sort of a food diary, a journal of some sort, is because I bet you most of the people that if we were to go onto the street right now and ask them what they ate from this morning to now, they would eliminate certain things. They would take out the handful of nuts or the chips or maybe the extra half and half they put in their coffee.
Because they just don't think about it.
They don't think about it, but that's how the extra calories add up, and that's how you gain the excess fat that we're not aware of. Jot it down in your iPhone or in, you know, your notebook somewhere. It doesn't have to be a food journal. Everyone has a smartphone today.
Right.
You know, keep a log in your notepad, and especially if you want to lose weight, you have to take certain actions to do it. So that is one thing that you could start to see the patterns in which throughout the week that, okay, I could definitely eliminate that to then loosen the pants a little bit.
The next tip is find out your body mass index, your BMI, and your target heart rate.
Yes, because a lot of people do go to the gym. I go to the gym on the Upper East Side. I see some of the same people for the past 3 years who do the same machine, the same routine every day, and they look exactly the same. And most of them do need to lose a couple of pounds. If you don't know your body mass index and you don't know your target heart rate, you may not be working out efficiently enough to start burning efficient calories. It's extremely easy to learn how to do that. You can log on to Google and type in BMI. I'm not a nutritionist or anything of that sort, but if you go to any gym, they will do it for you. Mm-hmm. It's a very easy equation. Everybody's is different. Also, you should find out how much body fat percentage you have versus muscle mass, especially for women. But you should know your own body. I mean, we have to take care of ourselves to make the best of ourselves. So why not start young, right?
Absolutely. And Chelsea, the last tip that you have is find a fitness routine.
Yes.
Because as important as it is to eat well, you've got to exercise too.
Absolutely. And I'm a victim of not knowing my schedule every week, with doing media moments or who knows what my day can consist of. But if you could take out at least 30 minutes of your day 3 times a week at least, you will already start to see a big increase in your sleeping habits, your mood, and also your weight. And it's for you. It's for you to keep going. I think I'm Superwoman sometimes. I could do it all. But if I don't have Chelsea time and if I don't go and pump some endorphins in the gym, I do not work efficiently enough, especially for college students. You need to take your head out of the textbooks and go run. Do something, because then when you get back, you're going to be twice as better at studying.
You think you're Superwoman sometimes. So does Griffin57, who wrote in the chat, anyone who thinks this generation is lazy should check out this young lady. So you have a new fan there.
I'm sure.
And Dwayne Howe repeated a point that you made a little while ago, Chelsea, which is if you don't know what you're eating, don't buy it.
That's why nutrition labels are so important for us to learn how to read. If you don't know what the ingredients are, especially if you don't know how to pronounce certain ingredients, don't buy them. There are so many websites, books, brochures that we can educate ourselves on with what are the better options to choose. Because unfortunately, with the economic crisis today, we don't have a lot of people can't afford all of the organic or the Whole Foods like products.
Sure.
But there are ways to get healthy, nutritious foods for a lesser cost.
Chelsea Krost website, we have it up on the screen. Chelsea Krost, KROST.com. Her book is called 19. And we appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. What a pleasure to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
And thanks to all of our guests today for a real fun show about differences that are being made by young people in our country.